there's a lot of things like this right here, a glider taking off, and you see the little checkered marks and stuff. That's for speed and stuff like that. And I was trying some other different kind of paint schemes. This is actually a test of an aircraft without the engines. Later on, they would put the engines on. I was having some airframes tested. It's funny, they have all this stuff and they're like blah 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 blah, and it's like that's not really what's going on here. I mean, a lot of stuff was going on. Mostly it was farming and getting troops out there. There was actually no war for a lot of it, and then there was the war part. But I don't really know what was going on with that. There was miscommunication or something, or Hitler was going crazy. Syphilis. Anyway, I mean, I controlled the world, so basically, and you know, I could do like bring out this thing. That was actually like an award-winning to see how many people could be jumped out of a plane at one time. It's funny that they're like war and this and that. It's like, well, that's not really why I was doing that. Anyway, let's go ahead and retract back. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of misconceptions. Poor Hitler. Ay, ay, ay. There would have. See, those actually are American people. There would have actually been like, well, I had Germany and Hitler doing one thing, and then I had some other people doing another thing. That's the weirdest thing is those are actually not German. Those are those are just doctor and certain kind of uniforms for the same general world order. Like I said, I had my different groups. I had my American troops. I had my German troops. There really wasn't a division. There might have been some division, and there were smaller skirmishes. There were certain groups that were like we don't want to be under your rule, and then, but like I say, I mean, I granted peace and freedom and even independence. I was generally like, hey, if you don't want to be a part of my group, you don't have to be a part of my group. You know, my group's doing power, electrical, water, sewer. We're building roads. But there were certain people that are like, we don't want to pay taxes or this or that. And it's like, well, if you want water and power, then you pay taxes just like everybody else, or you pay food or something else like that. I mean, they didn't have to, because I had my own farms and everything, and the general society was doing its own thing. Anyway, though, but in the whole mix of everything, somehow, like I say, there were a couple mafia people, or there were a couple people, it was over my film, my actresses, happened here in Santa Barbara. There was one guy that was like, he thought he ruled the world or controlled things and everything. So you kind of see the build-up and general stuff. And then there was someone that wanted to take over the world or something like that. And I was like, no, this is my planet, my thing, I'm doing this thing, blah, blah. And you know, I mean, it was just, you know, and I was just clothing my military officers. You know, my military officers always had clothes. So, you know, and they were my cars and stuff like that, and my equipment, and my leather jackets. They love the leather jackets. And I know that the leather was the best leather possible. But the wings, that means flight. That's one of my groups. Like I told them, I said any uniforms with wings on them are my groups. Don't shoot them, because it's my flight / you know, that's why I mean, there might have been other groups, but you know, I had aircraft and I had tanks, and there might have been other groups, and I was just like, you know, I wasn't forcing, you know, I was trying to find the chemical weapons facilities. I was trying to find the places where they were cutting people's skulls off. Like I've said in one of my other videos, there was this mental ward where they would take a person's skull off, and then they were literally just slicing off pieces of brain matter, and then they would ask the person questions, just like in Silence of the Lambs. They found a whole group of bodies with their heads cut off, just stacked in a corner, and it looked like my procedure. You know, it's a standard procedure actually to take the brain out after the body is dead. You know, if they've been shot or stuff. But these people didn't have any wounds on them, and plus, you know, for the disease research stuff, they were taking the brains out to see if the infections or whatever, because there were people that were getting sick. You know, when you get amoeba inside the brain or whatever, you know, it can mess up your brain because it grows in there. Anyway, people were doing experiments on people, and there was a confusion between my medical people and the rest of it. So there is this whole thing of what the heck was going on. And anyway, and then I had my tanks in there and stuff like that. I'm going to cut this video short.